Okay, welcome back, guys. Today we're taking a look at the classic Ratt tune, Lack of Communication. This was from Out of the Cellar, 1984, I believe. And, of course, a classic Ratt tune. Of all the Ratt tunes, I think this one might be one of the easier ones to get a hold on, especially for the guitar solo. There's not much to it. I believe this was Robbin Cosby playing this, and it's just a cool little, it's almost more of a guitar fill than a guitar solo. So what I'm going to do here, even though we're going to kind of file this under the riffs lessons, is I'm going to show you that little lead part too. Alright, so this is in drop D. If you are unfamiliar with drop D, you just are in standard tuning, but your low E string is tuned down a whole step to D, so it would sound like this. Okay, cool. So before we get started, make sure to check down below if you're looking for the tab for this lesson. Also a backing track of just bass and drums. You can practice along to the whole song if you want to. Check down below and you'll see my Patreon link. That's where I post all of the tabs, things from my lessons, at least the recent ones. And I've got a free gift for you guys, 15 glam metal riffs you gotta know. And there's another Ratt riff in there which you might recognize. It's also drop D. And a bunch of other cool stuff, Motley Crue, Shotgun Messiah, TNT, White Lion. I mean, a bunch of great stuff. Make sure and check that down below. You'll see the link for that as well. All right, well, let's get started here. So if I played a big fat D chord with my drop D tuning, it's going to sound like this. By the way, I don't always talk about what I'm playing through and all that, but this is a custom Carvin. Can't quite see the Carvin name there. Obviously Carvin has become Kiesel guitars now, but I bought this one custom I think like around 2005. No, it wasn't. It was later than that. It was maybe 2010, somewhere around there. But this is a great guitar. It's obviously the Super Strat style with an original Floyd. It's got the gold hardware on it. It's a Contour 66 model, which obviously they don't make that anymore. But it's these are DiMarzio. I think this is a Super Distortion. This is probably an Air Norton, I believe. It's hard to remember. PAF Pro, maybe. I used to love that combination. Now I go more for the Tone Zone and the Air Norton, but this has it sounds great sounding guitar, and the Bird's Eye maple neck, and it's just a great guitar. And I'm running through my Friedman, JJ Junior. And that was the amp. That was the Jerry Cantrell, based on that big head there. So I'm running through that. That goes into my pedal board, but all I've got in the pedal board is a Friedman Buxom Boost, which is a great boost pedal, by the way. And you can set it so it cuts some of the lows out. So it's really it doesn't add a bunch of mids and stuff like a Tube Screamer would, so it's transparent in that way, but it can cut some lows and obviously add a little bit of gain too to the whole proceedings. And I find that it just tightens this amp up just enough to where I don't need any sort of other overdrive with it. And I also use that all the time with my Friedman Jakey Lee amp, so that works in both cases. So that's what I got going on here, and then all of that's going into a 2-notes Captor X, and this is a vintage 30 IR. I think it's from Celestial, and that's it. Simple single pad. That's it. I may add a touch of reverb in post, but I haven't done anything to the sound yet. A lot of times I'll put an EQ on there just to cut any lingering lows out, but that's all, guys. So it's really simple. That's the way I like it. Let's get started. Drop D tuning. The main riff goes like this. Alright, now we're in a big slide, and both guitars are in playing the same exact riff. Alright, so we got that low D, it's a low D, and then we're playing a D5 power chord. Keep that low D going, and you've got the C power chord now. C, A power chord right there. That's really the main riff, and it's just going between the D and the C power chords, and then that little A power chord accent. And I think riffs like this sound better down-picked. So if you're questioning how to pick it, I would say use all downs on this. And this is eighth notes at about 150 BPM, so it's not too bad in that way. Okay, so that's the main riff, and then when it goes to the verse, it goes there this way. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on in the verse. One guitar is hanging out on this, on the third fret on the low E, and the third fret on the A string, and then just hanging on that. And then this is a G5 power chord, 5th and 7th fret D and G. Pick it twice like that and slide it back to the 3rd fret D and G, which is an F power chord. So and then this fill here to lead right back into the verse. And that's just I'm playing the E and the A string, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret to the open. So the verse would sound like this. Again, does this 4 times at the beginning, the first one. So it does that 4 times for the first verse. The second guitar is actually doing this. It's just pedaling on that. And then it comes in on the chromatic riff here. Like this. So it's not doing the little chord accent. Okay, so you could play either part. I love the chord accents, but if you're in like a 2-guitar band, or your cover band is doing this song, or you're in a Ratt tribute band, something like that, you'd want one guitar playing, you know, with the 8th note chugs, and the other guitar doing those accents. Okay, and now we get to what I suppose is the chorus here. Okay, so this is a big stretch here now. You can see those two moves. I'm playing the 5th fret on the low E, and I keep coming back to it when I mute, but I'm playing an A5 power chord with my ring and my pinky at the 7th and 9th frets on the D and G. And I'm going to move this whole shape down a whole step, so I'm playing 3rd fret on the low E, and then 5 and 7 D and G. I'm going to move that down a whole step in a second, but you could finger this with your first middle and pinky if that feels better to you. For some reason this just feels better to me this way. But so the way you play this is first you slide into this chord here. This actually would be a G chord, even though it's on the 5th fret. Remember, we're tuned down a whole step on the low E. So we're going. Now, once we hit, so we went, we're doing that same thing where we accent with the chord, the G chord on 5 and 7, but we're muting the 3rd fret on the low E. And then we go 3rd fret, D and G, which is an F, up to a G. And that comes out on a D chord. Okay, so that's the first part. Let me play that again. We'll come out of the verse into that. If not, rewind and watch again. And also make sure and check the tab out over on Patreon, so that'll clear up any stuff. Also have a guitar profile, so you can play the guitar profile and get a really good idea of what's happening and even slow it down if you want to. All right, so again, all that's over on Patreon. Now, once you get back to the G chord, has those little accents there. Goes back to this. So again, the same thing on the that's all of the parts for the whole tune except for the lead. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. There's the intro riff, which is really the main riff that you keep coming back around to, and then there's the verse, which is based on this. Riff again. Verse. More like a pre-chorus there. That would be the chorus, right? Lack of. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And let's do the little lead. Now this comes in after that first chorus, so we'll come back to this riff. And then we go. Again, I think this was Robbin Cosby on this. So you're going to bend up. This is right out of the D minor pentatonic scale. We're in the key of D here. So notice at the end it does a whole step bend on 15 on the high E. Lower it, pull off to 13, and 15 on the D. But before that, we have the. So you're going to bend up 15, a whole step, and then just kind of lower it, just the micro tone. And you keep picking it. You never lower it all the way back down until that last bend where you do a whole step bend. Okay, so and then we end with this. So slide into 12 on the D, 10G, 12D, 12G, 10G, and then give that a slight little bluesy bend, and 12 on the D to end. All right, so and then you're back into the verse. And that, my friends, is how you play Lack of Communication by Ratt. And I hope you had fun with this. It's a really fun song to play. And make sure and grab the tab if you need to over at Patreon. And don't forget about 15 glam metal riffs. You got to know they're riffs just kind of like this, same genre, same attitude, all that great stuff from the mid to the late 80s. So make sure and check that out, and I'll see you guys next time. Rock on.